What color are your draperies? It's time for Must Have Seen TV, the podcast dedicated to the TV shows of the 20th century. From I Love Lucy to News Radio, I'm your TV guide, Barb Hardly. And across the aisle from me, the digital aisle, is the maid slash life partner slash assistant to my sexually liberated yet uptight journalist slash columnist, Ethan K. Hello, Ethan.
Hey, Barb. That was a very accurate, weirdly enough, accurate representation of two of the characters on this episode that we're going to watch.
On this amazing show. But so, first of all, we have a lot of comments to get to, surprisingly.
We got
Lovely.
comments.
We got comments, but how are you doing? It has been a while.
I have been a lot of ups, couple downs. Nothing major. We went on a little vacation over to Walt Disney World in Florida. I talked about it during our upfronts.
Mm-hmm.
We went there. We went to Epcot one day. The rest of the time we stayed in the room and we played Baldur's Gate 3 because I brought the entire PlayStation 5 in a giant suitcase.
I was really hoping you were going to say Target bag or something. In a giant
our IKEA bag and a big plastic blue IKEA bag. So that was fun. We got to sleep late, have good food, and play a lot of Baldur's Gate. Unfortunately, I came home and I was fooling around in my office, moving some stuff around. Didn't realize that my microphone was on my little table that I put in front of the computer while I'm doing the podcast with you. I knocked it pretty hard with my elbow or my knee or something, and the microphone and stand went flying. And the little quarter-inch piece of plastic that connects the microphone to the stand snapped off. So if there are any audio issues, I apologize. They are sending me a new part, but I have this kind of rigged up system where the microphone is on its side and being held in place by the stand itself. So
Honey,
my levels might be all weird.
That sounds like what's going on with my waist right now. Hey, it's on its side and being held in.
Barb, how are you holding up? What's going on?
First of all, I will be, I have to show off my chair that's covered in glitter because of my look that I made myself. Hey.
Barb's making clothes.
Yes. This is a really sparkly like mini dress and then a floral Palm Springs 1980s overcoat that I made yesterday to fight off anxiety. Hey.
And the wig is straight up 1980s Dolly Parton.
Oh God, yes.
In a good way, in a great way.
Ethan, did you know that I'm a really good drag queen?
You're really good at this.
Did you know? Could you have imagined this? Oh God. 16 years ago playing Ultimate Alliance in your apartment at 1 a.m.?
No, I never would have thought of that. I never but it was times were different. We were focused on comic books. We were focused on cartoons and comedy,
honey,
and we were doing improv. And
I am still focused on comic books. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to slow down for me.
Well, and I'm also focused on home improvement trading cards, which if you go to YouTube, not only will you see my drag, you will also see the home improvement trading cards that I am holding up to the camera. I bought a whole box of them unopened on eBay, and I have recorded a video of Barb opening the entire box. So check out Barb's YouTube for that.
Pretty nice.
Home improvement content. But you want to hear the hear the comments?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna see what you're watching and what you're doing, what you're watching now, enjoying now for our viewers. Because I do want to drop a plug for something.
Ooh.
Not that I'm doing, but something I watched that I was incredibly entertained by. Also, my new haircut makes me look like Kevin James.
No.
King of Queens.
And I'm the queen.
Queen of Queens.
I don't even know. I mean, we just finished our ER run like on Friday, all 15 seasons. And we were having a hard time figuring out what to put on now. So, I mean, and since I'm again not working, I don't have anything to watch for work. just on a little bit of a sabbatical. We're
Have you
fine.
have you watched Psych?
No.
Psych is very funny, uh, very self-referential, and breaks the fourth wall, and it is great. Um, just a little throwing that out there. It's not particularly what I'm watching because I already watched the whole thing, but it's a show that's got some legs.
What are you watching?
I gotta recommend Jenny Nicholson's 4 hour long video about what went wrong with the Star Wars Star Cruiser.
I don't want to watch it because I thought it was a great idea. It looked amazing. Every single part of it looked fantastic, and I wish I could experience it. Damn it.
She can show you in her video that it was not really good. It did not work. It was a waste of money, and it was a waste of 2 days and about $6,000 for
But
2 days.
it seemed amazing to me.
I recommend watching the video. It's on
I'm
YouTube.
a crazy person. Like, let's be like, I am a crazy person who you say, oh, you're going to go to a hotel where you're going to be trapped for 48 hours with a whole bunch of workers who are improvising with you as if you're in a spaceship. And there's no pool, there's no luxuries. It's just like you're in like a little tiny. I'm like, yes, give it to me. This sounds amazing.
You will be amazed by this video. It's on YouTube. It's 4 hours. Megan and I got a whole bunch of snacks and watched the whole thing on Saturday night because we had a long weekend. And it's just one revelation after another, being like, oh, you're going to be in character and they're going to be interacting with you. And she's like, I got into character. I gave them my name, and they all looked at me like I was crazy, like the name that she came up with for her character.
Dick
And then
Skirmish. That's mine.
Dick Skirmish.
Oh well, okay.
So
maybe.
I thought it was great. It's like 5 million views, 6 million views. It's being mentioned on news sites.
But can they do the hotel again? But like do it
No.
right.
No.
I want that experience. I want to go to Star Wars.
Would you pay 3 times as much to go on a cruise where you have smaller rooms than a regular cruise ship and no view and no pool?
Is it Star Wars?
Lightly Star Wars.
The answer is yes.
There are a lot of improvisers who are not funny improvisers, but there are also, let's say, a couple pictures of Kylo Ren just like flash every now and then.
No, Kylo Ren. We're done.
Oh, it's all Kylo Ren.
Nope, done.
The recognizable celebrities are Chewbacca, Rey, and Kylo Ren, and that's it.
Oh God.
And a picture of Yoda somewhere.
Anyway. Well. Speaking of YouTube, we have some comments from YouTube.
Yeah, let's talk about comments. We never get comments. Thank you so much.
Yay! So first of all, at Bima Love on YouTube said on the Alfred Hitchcock episode, off topic and takes God's name in vain. So, I don't know what's up with that.
Fair cop.
I'm assuming fair critique. I'm assuming the algorithm showed poor at Bima Love their Alfred Hitchcock video. Don't really know what's off topic. What topic were they on?
I don't know. And there's always the debate about what is taking God's name in vain. If you say God damn, that's one way of putting it, but also being like, I'm collecting money for God, that to me is a bigger sin. But because you're really collecting it for yourself.
Preachers don't have a problem with that. And then at Cub Ducat on YouTube on the Wings episode said, I love the 2 episodes that Abraham Ben Ruby did for Wings. Abe was the first time I saw a larger guy be gay and not the butt of a joke. I've always found him attractive, but I really began following his career after that. And let me tell you, I did respond on YouTube. We are doing ER next week, and Abraham Ben Ruby was a recurring character for most all 15 seasons as the front desk employee, Jerry Markovic.
Yep.
And I will add, we just watched the series finale. He comes back for those last couple episodes, and he's fucking hot.
He's an actor that I like to watch. I remember him from Parker Lewis Can't Lose, where he played the big bully Kubiak, and everyone fell in love with him. He did these episodes of Wings, and then I remember he went from Wings to ER. I didn't remember if he did anything. I didn't see him in anything.
Well, he was Olaf on Buffy. Olaf the Troll.
Under
Season
makeup.
5. Yeah.
Well, then I wouldn't know if they're under
Yeah.
makeup.
He comes back for the finale episodes and he's like got a gorgeous, like nicely trimmed beard, nice hair, and I'm like, oh wow, like Jerry can get it.
I think I stopped watching Buffy around season 5, so
That's my
that's on
favorite
me.
season. And then at Winter Wind on YouTube of the Upfronts episode said that Dallas and Dynasty have some bonkers stuff, which may be impactful or may not to a non-regular viewer. Have you ever watched Paper Dolls? That's drama rather than sitcom. Is that the Amazon show? Because yes. No, it's Paper Girls. So Paper Dolls.
I've seen Paper Girls.
It's Paper Girls because it's a Brian K. Vaughan comic. But it's a great show. Alternatively, something like The New Gidget, which is a random spinoff of the original series. So yeah, let's investigate Paper Dolls and or The New Gidget and see where they fall on a lineup.
I'd be interested in New Gidget, especially a spinoff of a fairly well remembered show. But
who was the New Gidget? Was it like Doctor Who? Is Gidget a Time Lord? Does Gidget regenerate?
Do I have to look this up? I'm going to look this up.
Okay, yeah. Well, and then I guess while you're doing that, we can read an iTunes review, which is maybe the first new iTunes review in years. So please, people, iTunes review. Do you get that hot Gidget info?
It's played by Karen Richman, a name that I'm not particularly familiar with. She did 44 episodes of The New Gidget. But also 44 episodes with William Schallert, the dad from the Patty Duke Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love that guy.
So on iTunes, we have enjoyable listen 5 stars from Shelly's FMIC. Brett/Barb and Ethan have a nice chemistry and I enjoy listening to them. Because I'm old enough to remember most of these shows from broadcast or syndication, I sometimes hear a small mistake, but that's just carping. Would you consider occasionally having listener vote or nomination for a show or episode? Yes. Tell us what to watch.
Yes.
As long as we haven't done it before and as long as before January 1st, 2000.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of like we're happy to revisit old shows. It just have to kind of keep in mind about how long it's been since we did that episode. I remember my wife Megan did an episode of The Munsters with you, like I'm going to say like early pandemic. But I think enough times passed that I could.
Oh God, yeah,
I could do an episode. But like I wouldn't say like, let's do another Laverne and Shirley.
No, right. I think like a year after a year passes, it's back fair game. So baby, give it to us. But this week we'll be traveling to March 17th, 1973. Tom Sawyer ruled the box office, Killing Me Softly with his song by Roberta Flack topped the charts, and NBC, as part of their Saturday night doubleheader premiere of 2 90-minute pilots, aired The Magician episode. The Magician. Ethan, you must have seen The Magician before today.
I have heard of The Magician. I remember that I believe it was streaming on Sci-Fi Channel early on.
So, multiple things to talk about. First of all, I recently have been thinking way too much about early 90s Sci-Fi Channel and how wild it was and how, like, it's watching this on Daily Motion because it isn't officially available. So, gotta
it is on DVD. It is, you can buy the entire series, which is 22 episodes for $19 on Amazon or $17 on Amazon used. Ooh. Which makes it less than $1 per episode.
I might do that when we get to talk about this show. I might do that. Yeah, but no. So like Sci-Fi back in the day was like seeing that little Saturn logo in the bottom corner was just like, Mystery Science Theater, Lost in Space reruns in the summer in the morning. All the like weird anime that would come on like Saturday mornings. But I never knew the titles of any of them.
I only watched it for Mystery Science Theater 3000 because I'd heard about it by a ton of people, especially my aunt and uncle who loved the show. But my cable company didn't get Comedy Central or the Comedy Network, as it was called back then. They didn't get that. I only heard about it. And then one day MTV did a Mystery Science Theater 3000 marathon for out of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
And I finally got to enjoy Alien from LA. And then Sci-Fi Channel put together after season 10, they bought No, after season 7, sorry, after season 7, 8, 9, and 10 were released by the Sci-Fi Channel, and those were my seasons. I taped them on VHS cassettes. Loved them.
I'm a Mike baby.
I'm a Mike
Can't help
guy.
it. No, but so I'd never heard of The Magician until you suggested it. But of course, we know Bill Bixby, and we've talked about Bill Bixby before on My Favorite Martian.
He did My Favorite Martian. He did The Courtship of Eddie's Father, which was 3 seasons based on a movie. And then, of course, he did The Incredible Hulk.
And then he was Bruce Banner or Robert Banner. And as we'll discuss in this, he's kind of playing Tony Stark in a weird way.
He's playing Tony Stark slash like
Doctor Strange, like Jonathan Hart. It's a wild. Anyway, so no, I'd never heard of this. And if you are listening to this episode because you think we're talking about The Magicians, I'm glad that you gave us a download. Thank you for the spike in our ratings.
Or if you got us confused with Deception, a show from 2018 by Greg Berlanti that also is about a magician solving crimes. It's lasted 1 season, and I don't know why, because it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, well, same with this. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great show too.
And this is part of our drama round. So this was aired as a 90-minute pilot on NBC on their Saturday night movies.
Is this the longest thing that we've done? An hour and a half?
Maybe.
It's nothing else is ringing any bells. I know Heart to Heart was an hour. Streets of San
usually it's like
Francisco
45 minutes, and this is 70 without commercials. But this week on Must Have Seen TV, we were talking about the Magician episode, The Magician. It is the first episode of season 1. It was written by Lawrence Heath and Joseph Stefano, directed by Marvin Chomsky. Here's how IMDb describes the episode. A magician is asked by the mother of a plane crash victim to check into a possible conspiracy. He discovers that the plane crash was staged. Ethan, how accurate is that description?
Fantastically accurate.
Wow. And now I was not able to take any notes on this because I look like this. And it is hard for me to...
You can't write anything.
It's hard for me to exist when I am in drag. But hey, you know what? I do everything for y'all.
I have a couple, pre-show notes. I do a little bit of research and kind of see what's going on. What was happening the same day that this was going on? The Queen Elizabeth opened up the new renovated London Bridge.
Oh, well, how come every time she come around my London Bridge want to go down?
She's also
London.
But so The Magician was a great concept that lasted on, unfortunately, only 22 episodes because, and you can tell in the pilot, it was expensive.
Yeah, that's what watching this, I wonder, and this is a general note to like a lot of 70s and 80s dramas. They were sparing no expense on these shows. You watch a drama show now, like an NCIS or whatever, it feels like they have their super unrealistically high-tech, usually like cobalt blue and a lot of transparent glass headquarters, and then they go to houses and warehouses in the same places, and they spend most of the time. These shows is like, we're going to all these different places. There's going to be a helicopter chase in an episode. There's going to be a car chase in every single episode.
Every episode.
It's like, what in the world? It's wild. And I love that. Like, I mean, Heart to Heart episode like 2 or whatever is like a helicopter chasing a truck. And it's like, you don't see this on FBI International.
What I love about Doctor Who is the new Doctor Who, starting with Christopher Eccleston, is that they would do these like big episodes where it is like the helicopter landing on the bridge, and like, they have great costumes, and then like literally the next episode is like, oh, we're all trapped in an underground base because they spent all their budget with the previous episode. So you have these like big sci-fi spectaculars, and then like we're trapped in a submarine with an alien.
Love it. That's what Buffy and Friends would have to do.
So unfortunately, The Magician came under the curse of we are too expensive. And they did some things mid-season that are a little weird. First off, the character, Bill Bixby's character in this episode is named Tony Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
names change after the pilot because there was apparently another real stage magician named Tony Dorian.
That's wild.
Who was like, and they're like, okay, now he's Tony Blake. So he's Tony Blake. Then,
which is similar to like Donald Blake, Thor.
Yeah.
We got Thor, Hulk, Iron Man. We're a lot of references.
Tony Stark, Tony Blake. We just matched up 2 Marvel characters.
Oh, wow.
So one of the cool things that we'll talk about is that Bill Bixby's character of Tony Dorian lives on an airplane.
That
he lives on. I would not want to live on an airplane.
No, like, so when he says that, and then Zira says like, oh, that must be great because you get tired of a place, you just take off and go something. Like, no, it is not that easy. I feel like you take off, and then you got to get clearance to land somewhere.
Yeah. So imagine like the expense of like, you have all this like footage of him, like, you know, planes taking off and like him going into planes, and that like, so that halfway through the series, they're like, he's not living on the plane anymore. He moved into the Magic Castle in Las Vegas,
which is amazing, which is just perfect.
Or is it in LA? I forget where it is.
LA. I mean, like, also the cross promotion, A+. And I've not been to the Magic Castle in LA, but they better have Bill Bixby like merchandise everywhere.
Well, he was an amateur magician. He did the magic in the series, but I believe he didn't do all the magic in the pilot. So just about that.
There were some in-camera tricks that I was like, oh, word.
There was some good stuff. And here's the one that gets me, is that you and I both fell in love with these characters. Max Pomeroy, Lulu, Max Pomeroy's like live-in relationship.
They have a child together.
His son, who's in the wheelchair, and he's like really super smart. Halfway through the series, they all go away.
See, those, no!
They're all gone. Different characters get introduced as his friends.
How can you do better than a journalist who keeps advocating for like polyamory and then his live-in, I mean, literally baby mama, and then the baby who's a super smart kid in a wheelchair.
It's so...
They're a show. They are a show.
Keen Curtis, who plays Max Pomeroy, who's like he's like the guy in the chair. He's the Max, I need some information on this person. And Max will go to his microfilm, or he'll call around. Max is played by Keen Curtis, who you might remember as the upstairs neighbor in Cheers.
Oh, who hooks up with Carla every now? He's also, I think, in a Heart to Heart episode.
He's probably also gay.
Work.
His Wikipedia biography has the telltale Peter had children. And then I was kind of like snooping around for some Keen Curtis stuff, and someone on a Cheers episode in the comments was like, yeah, one of my gay friends was on Cheers, Keen Curtis. So
wow. So he is, we like
he's
that.
He's OG. OG TV gay. Yeah, so, and he was also the voice of Grand Moff Tarkin in the Star Wars radio play.
Oh, nice. That NPR did? Yeah. So the episode starts with a magic show, obviously. Well, can we... The circumstances around the magic show, like the first 5 minutes of this episode, are very like, what is happening? What, like, he's doing magic? And then everyone's like, ooh, wow. And then all of a sudden, like a harried woman, Kim Hunter, a.k.a. Zira from Planet of the Apes, not in monkey outfit, chimp outfit, like comes in, she's being chased by people, but they're doing this while the magic's going on. And then someone draw a gun, someone dies. Like, it's just like a lot of wild stuff is happening.
It's like
there's no context.
There's like 3 different plots happening.
Yeah.
Zira runs in and she sits at a table. And she orders a ginger ale. And there's obviously one guy following her and another guy following that guy. So we don't know if they're following each other or they're both following her.
Meanwhile, Bill Bixby's teleporting from one part of the stage to another in smoke.
Yeah, Bill Bixby's doing kind of like a step or two above birthday magician. He's doing like Shriner magician.
Da, 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 da.
So he's doing like the woman is levitating, and
Yeah.
I produce a dove from my kerchief. And then he does this weird trick where he's got this transparent rocket ship
Like
that he
coffin, rocket ship, glass case.
that he stands in, and the smoke goes up to his crotch, and it just stays
He
there
puts
for a
on a
while.
top hat. He puts on a top hat when he gets in there.
He puts on a top hat for some reason. Um, he makes the doves disappear. Um, so I noticed that like the smoke just like held at his crotch until they like would cut away to close shots, and then the smoke would go up, covered his head.
I
Uh,
also add, of course, I have to say, as the woman host, Bill Bixby's very handsome in this. I think I do not find him attractive as Bruce Banner on the whole, but I do think he
hmm.
is incredibly sexy on this show.
Do
So
you,
he loses something in the next 5 years.
do you know who also found him sexy?
Oh, who?
Yvonne Craig, Batgirl.
Oh, who is in the show that also premiered right after The Magician? Jarrett.
Ah,
Yeah. Wait, were they together?
they dated for a while, but they didn't get married. He was like, I don't want to get married. Eventually, he did. It ended in tragedy. Uh, he they their son died.
Oh,
They got divorced, and she killed herself.
wait, Yvonne Craig?
No, no, not Yvonne Craig. The woman he ended up marrying after
Oh,
being like the big Hollywood bachelor.
yeah.
Like it was tragic. It was bad. It was
No.
not good. This magic trick also tragic, bad, not good, different way.
So
Um,
someone dies. Like, wait, how does the guy die?
he just walks in. He starts is a guy with a mustache. He's like
Yeah,
he's stalking
Potter.
the woman who walked in. Zira. We'll just call her Zira.
Yeah.
And as he's getting close to the table, as Bill Bixby is teleporting in puffs of smoke around the room, and everyone's thrilled about this.
Well, how is
Um,
he doing it?
Usually you do it with trapdoors or misdirection. Like,
I didn't see no trap, but well, we actually do see trapdoors later. Anyway, continue.
so what all this guy does is he lurches towards her table, grabs his chest, and falls down. Show's over.
I also, because this happens, and then it is almost like Bill Bixby has a contingency plan for when people die during his shows, because just like a lot of machinations start going into place. Like the theater's doctor takes the
Yeah,
takes the body.
the theater's doctor. I guess he's playing in L.A.
Yeah.
It is
Well, and he like
the supper
immediately
club.
like centers in on Zira, and is just like, okay, well, like show's over now, my job begins, and it's like just interrogating her.
I also noticed that she arrives by cab and then just never pays the driver. She just gets out of the cab and walks in, and the
She's
cab driver.
traumatized.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a ton of smoke. And then as he's ending the trick before the guy dies, he does this whole speech, this pre-recorded speech over the PA system. And it's all about the power of your imagination is the most important and powerful thing in the universe, because and then it's this weird like Epcot Center like believe in your dreams thing.
Yeah.
And he ends it with imagination can keep you company, and this is my company. And he appears next to the plastic rocket ship, and he opens it up, and a woman in a mask and a bathing suit walks out. So it's like, oh, that's her
like,
job.
does he say like this is my wife or something?
No,
like,
he's just
no, he just comes out. Yeah.
This is my
Everything
company.
on everything on that stage, the tuxedo and the bodysuits. I want all of the wardrobe.
You make both work.
Let's make it work. I mean, it's a good show. It's also a magic show and fully lit.
Yeah, at a
The
supper.
lights are all on. Yeah.
There's like, I want to say there's maybe like 60 people at this show. I was kind of amazed that he can be as rich as he is to have a plane and like have a crowd this small.
I mean, his more profitable endeavor is his his private eye side hustle that he seems to really care about, because he like is immediately he's all over Zero.
Yeah, he brings her back to his dressing room, and then he does the thing where he goes through her wallet and checks her ID, and then he can be like, I know that your name is blah 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 and your address is blah blah blah. And she's like, oh my gosh, how did you know?
Does he take her to see the body?
No, he doesn't take her to see the body.
But like the body as well, like the fact that there's like a theater doctor, is that a real thing?
There used to be hotel doctors. So maybe this was, I'm guessing this was at a hotel, because it looks like it was filmed in a conference room.
Yeah.
Like a big ballroom at a hotel. Like, this is not making the Statue of Liberty disappear. This is like Shriner magician tricks in a hotel ballroom.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely scene.
So
well, then he then like he whisks her away. He's like, because she like starts revealing information about like, well, I was told to like come here to like see my daughter, but my daughter died like 3 weeks ago in a plane crash, and there's like there's a big mystery. And he's like, how's about you come to San Francisco with me for a few days?
Yeah. So she's like, oh my gosh. He goes to see the body. He's like, I'm gonna go check out the body. He talks to the hotel doctor, then steals all the corpse's information. The doctor just had in an envelope. He's just like, I'm just gonna yank it. I'm the only person that sees this body. I am the number one suspect in stealing this guy's information.
Hey, he is the magician. It's his right as the property's magician to get all of the corpse's property. Everyone knows this.
The hotel has a doctor. It has a magician.
A magician, yes, on staff. So he takes her to his plane, and like his wardrobe throughout is also like impeccable 1973 style. Like,
yeah,
like turtlenecks, like leather jackets
with an airplane collar.
And they just like hug his body in such a great, like, just like nice silky leather jackets, and just and let's talk about, like, what the hell is his name? Tony Delgado.
I call him Tony Blake, and then the top of my notes I just wrote Blake equals Dorian.
Right, yeah. So like, who is Tony Dorian Blake as a person? He's a weird. Everyone on this show is weird.
He's the weirdest one of them all. He drives this like very, very expensive pure white car, doesn't lock it. The license plate is Spirit in a larger license plate than I believe actually is legal. The note that I wrote was, such a big car for such shit magic. Like, how did he make all this money? He's just like,
it was the 70s.
There
were 3 channels and 1 magician in that town.
And I had to look it up, and I'm like, who were the big magicians in the 70s? And you really had Doug Henning. And it was a completely different style of magic. It was a fun magic. It wasn't like, I'm going to amaze you. That's like an older kind of magic.
He's a throwback.
And there was a magician, Mark Wilson was one of the big magicians at the time, and he was the official magic consultant on.
Oh, yeah, he's a weird. And what his immediate thing is like, let me take you to my weird friends who will help with information
on my weird plane, staffed by an actual like Julian Christopher played Jerry Wallace. Julian Christopher just recently passed away, but he did a couple episodes of Smallville. He did a lot of, one-off TV things. He's the only other character that survives all 22 episodes of The Magician.
Well, good for him.
Tony Dorian's best friend. Tony Blake's.
So yeah, we've already talked a little bit about the weirdos that he goes to visit in the mansion. I mean, like, there's a line. What did you write down the line that Pomeroy said? The compliment that he pays to his housekeeper that we then find out is, I guess, his partner, wife,
I don't know.
spouse. It's something like it's something that's just like you produced the finest son of like is like basically like complimenting her genes or so. It's a very weird line.
So he takes them to to Max Pomeroy, played by Keen Curtis. His mansion in San Francisco. Even before the tech boom, this had to be an expensive house.
Well, and he got it because he's a columnist, and he writes about like we hear a little bit of one of his columns later, and it's just like the day that love and intimacy were intertangled was the downfall of civil. Like it's just something like you shouldn't have like.
I couldn't tell if he was poly or he was ace. Like there's either hatred or love of sex. I could not tell.
Well, yeah, because like they're introduced by his partner assistant. She like opens the door and is like, "Oh, he's on a long distance call now with his editor. Like he got censored or whatever." And then Bill Bixby is like, "Oh, but that censor is gonna hear it." Like. So it's like, this is a thing he runs into all the time.
What columnist, A, has this power, and B, has this money?
Money, baby. No,
back in the day.
Ascots. That's how rich he is.
1973, really you could make how much money as a columnist? Like, I have, like, okay, let's just say S.J. Perlman, one of my favorite writers. He was a writer all his life. He wrote New Yorker. He wrote, humor magazines. He was constantly writing. He did not have a house like this.
No.
He lived in an apartment on 6th Avenue.
Look where I live. I can't even get to 6th Avenue. Yeah.
But like, and S.J. Perlman, I have like 30 books on my wall that he wrote and published. So he wasn't just a columnist. He lived in an apartment. And then he got like a country house that he wrote about that he hated, and then just moved back to the city. Like, you could not have this house as a columnist. I cannot think, like, Truman Capote could do it. Sure.
And even he lived in an apartment. So what information? They go there, they get information from them. There's a whole vast conspiracy.
Because they find out that the dead guy is under the name October.
H. October. Oh, also, who did Bill Bixby paint the dead guy? Where did that artist's rendering come from?
Out of his own photographic memory, paints a version on the plane of the dead guy, Mr. October. Takes it over. He's like, I think I've seen him before. He takes it over to Max. Max is like, Dennis, my son, please find all the pictures from this period of time to that period of time. They're all on microfilm, which had to be a big deal at that time. And he goes through, and literally the second picture is a dinner, and up in the corner is the guy with the mustache who died of the heart attack.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, who is that?" And they're like, "Oh, they didn't use the real name. It was the son of this famous airplane builder,
magnate guy." Yeah.
And then there's this whole thing where the body is then shipped. They keep an eye on the body. It's shipped to Seattle. So Bill is like, we have to go to Seattle. The body is claimed by a Mrs. October, and I'm doing air quotes, because Mrs. October is really the wife of this airline magnate.
But she also had feelings for the dead guy. Something.
No, she's in a loveless marriage. She's an actor that the guy's like, I got to marry an actor. And she's screwing around on the side. She has her own little apartment that she uses for these things. I'm looking over my notes. I'm like, it's all names that are crossed out because everyone used different names.
I mean, it is a complex. So there was a bomb. Someone had a bomb Right. That's
Yeah. I mean, we're going over kind of scene by scene. Uh, Bill Bixby, like he he tracks down the airline magnate's wife to her little like her own little apartment under a different fake name.
Yeah, she
Or a
looks like she has got
Billings.
like a Margot Kidder vibe, kind of 70s.
Yeah. He gets in there, he breaks in there because he's a magician. He knows how to break
Oh,
locks.
yeah. He's locked picked.
She is like, "Oh my God, who are you? Why are you in here?" And he's like, he just says some bullshit, and she's like, "Can I get you a drink?"
Yeah. Well, they immediately like start kissing.
Yeah.
What?
Like all this, like, okay, now we know that he really is just this
He's just
magician
getting all of
playboy.
it. 1973, baby.
So he goes back to the plane and he finds out, and then there's the airline magnate is there with his goons,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I will pay you $100,000 to fuck off. Didn't Not in those words, but
Yeah. Wait, so I'm trying to piece it all together. So, like, wait, the guy that died was the son of the airplane magnate, right?
yes.
And he was entangled romantically with what, Rose Marie or whatever,
Mary Rose, yeah.
Mary
The
Rose, who is Zira's daughter.
Yeah, who we met for earlier, who's like, "Oh, I think my daughter's still
Right.
alive."
Okay.
The son tries to approach her at this magic show. He dies because he has a heart problem. And now the mom doesn't know, is my daughter alive? Is my daughter dead? She's with Max Pomeroy. Now we're in Seattle. We're tracking down the daughter. It's kind of like one of those, is it the missing daughter? And then added the element of what was the airline magnate doing that his son had to fake his death.
Yeah.
All right, that's the mystery that they're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Um, while Bill Bixby orders a white wine from a married woman he's about to seduce.
Yeah, because why not? You know what? They got 90 minutes to kill. We get into it.
White wines. After the plane incident, no one fights or anything, but he's followed by one of the goons.
Mm-hmm.
One of the goons follows him, and you tell what happens because it's so simple.
God, I can't even remember. I had therapy between watching this and recording.
He sees the car is following him. He spins around another car, so it's like a very small chase.
Mary's like, he gets out. Bill Bixby gets out. Like, for some reason, like the goon just has fully stopped. And they're in kind of like a 69 position or like whatever, like that's
cars facing each other.
The crudest way I could describe it. Bill Bixby gets out. Does he have shaving cream or whipped cream?
He has shaving cream.
And he just walks over to the car and then just shaving creams over the driver's side mirror windshield.
The windshield.
Over the windshield, yeah. And then gets back in his car and and then the guy gets out and like scoops it up with his hand.
He's like, "Oh, foiled again."
What? Can we spend 45 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck that was about?
Well, he didn't want to be followed, and the best way to do it is, this isn't a show where you can disable the car by blowing it up. It's you shave cream the windshield. It worked.
I feel like just swipe it off and go after him. I don't.
And then he goes back and makes out with the wife some more.
Yeah, I love it when shows make me question my own sanity, and that shot of him just like shaving cream all over. This is like, what? Okay, what are we in for? What?
This is the era of rich people can do whatever they want on TV, which is like, are you a magician? Well, you can also be a secret agent. You can also be a detective. You can also.
We're not going to stop you. You're rich. Go solve this murder. Interfere, cross all boundaries, interfere with all protocol.
You can break into whatever you want, Bill Bixby.
Kiss all the wives.
Go for
vandalize all the cars. It's
because
great.
you're the protagonist and you do stage magic in
Yeah.
a tuxedo. We actually kind of like we discover what the whole point of this was, because once again we go on a boat in Seattle over to there was also a really shitty magic thing earlier on where Bill Bixby pulls up to the marina and he saw the wife that he eventually makes out with. He sees
Yeah.
the wife go on a boat and off to her husband, and he's like, "Hey, dock worker, where's that boat go?" And the guy's like, "I'm not supposed to tell you that." And Bill Bixby reaches up behind his ear and pulls out a $20 bill.
And then he answers, and then Bill Bixby asks him another question. And the guy basically just like kind of looks at him with the wonder of like a 7-year-old who just had a quarter pulled out. And
He
then
pulls out another $20 bill.
when he reaches behind his ear again, does he flick his hair a little bit? There's like a little bit of like boop boop boop, the pulling of the 20 out, and the guy's just like,
That you had to make sure there was magic going on, because like for so much of this show there is no magic. It is,
well, the magic is the performance and the chemistry.
Oh yeah, the chemistry of Max Pomeroy. So he goes back to the dock. He sees more people get on the boat. He follows them on another boat. Now, this is a 2 men and a woman played by Seen Hasso, who is a very famous Swedish. She's Swedish. She was Scandinavian, and she died. Yeah, she was Swedish. So she's kind of like this grand dame of theater. She gets her name, like her own like photograph in the opening credits, like also seen. But these 3 ne'er-do-wells visit the airplane magnate in his house, but he can't talk in the living room. He has to go down to the secret bunker.
Yeah.
Which is a button by the window that he presses and opens this little trap door where there's some stairs going down to the bunker.
Very no expense.
Yes, it is a parquet floor that just slides back and there's some stairs underneath it.
Yes, finally a trap door.
Yes. And Bill Bixby, of course, follows them because he breaks in.
He's like sneaking around.
In his gray slacks, his maroon turtleneck, and his black leather jacket with the airplane collar.
Yes. Wait, there was something. What do they talk about? Because I remember
they talk about
being funny.
Okay, so they talk about they paid him $10 million.
Yes.
To steal the prototype of a bomb and then deliver it to them. And the people that were supposed to deliver the bomb were his son and the son's girlfriend. We learn that they had a change of heart. They made the plane disappear, which is they landed somewhere that what they weren't supposed.
Which honestly, that's the biggest magic trick of the episode.
They made a plane disappear. So he takes them down to see. He's like, "Look, I don't have your bomb. My son had it. My son's dead. I'm working on where the bomb is. I don't know where the bomb is. So-and-so's daughter, the daughter, Mary Rose, knows where the bomb is. We're trying to track her down. We've staked out her best friend's apartment, and we're going to get that information about where she is." They all leave. Bill Bixby, in an extraordinarily drug out scene, waits for them to leave, waits for the magnate to leave the room. He opens the trap door. The magnate comes back. It's all dark. You can't see anything. Bill Bixby crouches under a couch. The magnate looks around, doesn't see the trapdoors open, goes up the stairs, turned off the light. Bill Bixby just there under a couch.
It's tense.
He closes the trapdoor and he's out the window, and that's that.
And then he like calls Pomeroy to be like, ask Zira who her daughter's best friend is.
Yep.
And she knows the address. It's like off immediately.
Yeah. You used to be able to know people's addresses like that.
Phone numbers, Rolodex.
Phone numbers. Like he knows Max Pomeroy's phone number by heart because he has a car phone.
What? Yeah, that's the budget right there.
Yeah, that's how you know he's rich, is he has a car
phone
in his, testosterone mobile with a Spirit license plate. we're also treated to a little backstory about why he's so rich.
Oh God,
it's not magic.
I mean, it's Tony Stark in a way. Like,
yes, it is.
Wait, like, what is the origin?
So he was traveling in South America and he got arrested and thrown into a South American, not a particular country, South American. It's
just South America. Yeah.
Continent, but it's also a country. He's thrown into a South American prison where he ends up escaping and taking another prisoner with him.
Is that Pomeroy?
No, because the other prisoner is remarkably rich. And he's dying, and he wills everything over to Bill Bixby. And what the okay.
Yeah, God, that's a wild. And Pomeroy just drops this information.
That's like covering off on the origin of the A-Team in the theme song.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just a couple sentences.
It just adds so much more. Not intrigue, confusion to Bill Bixby's character, to Mr. Tony Nelson.
We're almost done with this. He goes to the friend's apartment. He breaks in because he breaks in. The friend's been beat up. The room is a mess. She's not keeping any secrets. She told.
She's on a houseboat.
I'll give you the address. She told the people who beat her up. She told Bill Bixby.
She's like, give me the phone. Give me the phone. I need to tell everyone.
She's nothing's holding her back. That's it. It's a houseboat. Goes to the houseboat. Houseboat is wrecked. Figures that it has to do with this airline magnate.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a party.
Oh yeah, he has to go to a party.
A party
that Margot Kidder's throwing, right? Is it her party?
Yeah, it's a 1-year anniversary party. They hate each other.
For her. Yeah, for the guy.
His son's been dead for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
it is the most inappropriate thing you can do, is to have this big party. She hates him. He hates her. It is so fucking surreal. And of course,
an excuse to get everyone in fancy clothes.
And an excuse for a magician to show up, perhaps.
Oh, we got a party's got to have a magician.
Now he's a party magician, upper class party magician, but still, he's doing the same gags. He's doing the doves.
Oh, and he does the teleport trick, but he does something different in between the ports.
Yeah, he goes down to the basement. Mm-hmm. Where he sees that they've kidnapped Mary Rose. All the while his stupid narration is going, imagination is the power to control the universe, and I have the power of imagination on my side.
It's how did he get access to the PA system in that house? You got to show up early for that,
unless if you're using trap doors, to teleport yourself around the room, you can't just show up in a place and have that happen.
No, yeah, and it's I feel his magic trick is circumventing technological delays.
That's the real magic, the sorcery.
Because
so he goes down in the basement. They've drugged her quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Does he fight with them? I forget.
I know there was fighting. I know there was some 70s fighting at some point. Which
that was the 70s.
Where two men just and just throw someone it's. I love 70s fighting is still not as good as Batman 66 fighting, which
Oh,
is the best
oh,
fighting ever captured on film.
what a fantastic fight every one of those fights was.
Love them all so
So
much.
this was because he's a magician, he also knows fighting. He beats all of the men unconscious. He runs away with he doesn't he runs away with the girl because as the trick is going and the dry ice and fog machine is going, he appears next to the capsule. He opens the capsule and there's the daughter, but in the gown and the mask of his assistant. And then he leaves with her and they go out to a little boat, and the thugs follow him on their own little boat.
Yeah.
But
oh, is this when? And then there's a boat chase with a helicopter.
No, it's not a helicopter. It's a seaplane.
It's a seaplane. Okay.
That his buddy Jerry is flying.
Yeah, and so which this is crazy. It's a boat chase with an intercepting helicopter interception, airplane interception.
Bill Bixby jumps on the plane and is holding out his hand for Mary Rose to grab him.
Wait, is that Mary Rose? Yeah.
That's Mary Rose. The daughter.
Oh, she looks way too much like Margot Kidder, whoever that person
They all look like Margot Kidder.
Yeah, there's like bangs, brunette. Anyway, yeah.
I think the wife looks like Jessica Walter.
Yes.
If that helps get it in your minds, anybody.
Okay.
Jessica Walter, Margot Kidder, Bill Bixby.
And so, then there's the guy he shoots the boat. He hits the boat. You know that boat's going to blow up. And I was seriously like, I think they're going to kill this woman.
It was a pilot. They had to sell it.
Yeah.
But she jumps off. Bill Bixby gets her on the plane and the boat blows up. Or they cut to an explosion. It might have been a stock explosion. I don't know.
Hey, you're not seeing that on Blue Bloods.
They blew up the boat. You might see it on Daredevil, though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Like there's like a wrap up of being like, oh, the daughter reunited with the mother, and they're like, yeah, and then the airline magnate, he vanished, and that was it.
A+.
Yeah, I as convoluted as it was, and as 70s lo-fi as it was fun.
Yes. Are you ready for the must-have facts where we can
please
further discuss the lore? So I kept trying to find the ratings and like what ranking. I could not find the damn like Nielsen ratings for this, which was annoying. But just in general, the top 5 shows of that TV season, 72-73. Number 5 was Bridget Loves Bernie / the NBC Sunday Night Mystery Movie. 4 was Maude. 3 was Hawaii Five-0. 2 Sanford and Son, and 1 All in the Family. So we're in a peak era of television.
Yeah, Sanford and Son. Oh man.
And now the NBC Saturday Night lineup that this aired as part of was a world premiere double feature of The Magician and Jarrett. Do you want to know about Jarrett?
Yeah, tell me about Jarrett.
Jarrett stars Glenn Ford, Anthony Quell, Forrest Tucker, Lorraine Stevens, Yvonne Cragen, with Glenn Ford playing a soldier of fortune searching for some rare scrolls.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Now, after these shows aired, the Morning Globe gave The Magician 3 stars and said that it was high style absurdity.
It was.
And then they gave Jarrett 1 star, calling it a bombastic, muddled bore.
Jarrett.
So good for The Magician. The Magician made it out alive.
I just looked it up. Jarrett is a TV movie. It is not a pilot. It is not a series.
Well, it was a pilot. It just didn't get picked up.
Oh, it just didn't get picked up.
Yeah, because it was very much known that these two were airing as like tests. I don't know if it was advertised that way because all the newspapers afterwards are like, yeah, these 2 pilots, you might see The Magician again in the fall.
But probably not Jarrett.
Sandy Gardiner of the Ottawa Journal wrote Okay. Wrote NBC movie trick, not exactly TV treat. And then, with promotion as subtle as Archie Bunker's Psychology, NBC launched its double feature movie series Saturday. So that tells me that NBC was probably like, these are new shows. It could happen. Saturday kicked off with The Magician starring Bill Bixby and Jarrett featuring Glenn Ford. Only the latter seems in serious contention to join the fall's new video arrivals. So Sandy Gardner liked Jarrett more than The Magician.
Yeah, she had her money on Jarrett.
Yeah, she did not. Yeah, she did not like trying to get my scroll on.
Didn't like the swagger.
Is not.
Didn't like Bill Bixby's swagger.
Come on, Paige. Okay. The Magician was an interesting mystery built around a Houdini type character who scares the daylights out of the villains with lines like, hold on, goddamn, scrolling. With lines like, bug me again and I'll turn you into a frog. That was a great moment. That was a great moment in this.
That happened on the plane. I remember that.
Tony Dorian is unusual in other ways. He drives a sleek, sporty, customized car equipped with as many gadgets as a lunar module and makes his home in a customized jet, which allows him to go anywhere to solve a crime.
The only thing that had it was a car phone.
Gadgets, baby.
Which were being used in 1973. Not widely, but they were around. They've been around since the 40s.
However, enough of the 90-minute program was on view to make the assessment that if the show makes it to the dial in its present form, then The Magician will indeed have performed an amazing feat. Bill Bixby, typo, fresh from the courtship of Eddie's father and looking in new directions, doesn't quite make it as the sleuth. His delivery is monotone and his dialogue as catching as the common cold. Even his gentlemanly manner detracts from his role as a new superhero. He is both apologetic and ingratiating, two traits rarely found in the good guys.
Oh.
Okay.
Not wrong and about any of it, except his name. She spelled that wrong.
As a TV illusion, The Magician was a fabricated farce. So, yeah, fun.
Really?
Fun. Yeah, but, hey, sorry, Sandy, but you were wrong. The Magician,
it lasted 22 episodes.
Did come back, and it lasted 22 episodes.
One whole season.
Boom. So what are you watching this night on television? On ABC, we have Here We Go Again. Jerry and Susan face a confrontation with the IRS over their 1969 returns when they were still married.
Okay. All right.
On CBS, All in the Family, a walk past a construction site turns into a nightmarish encounter for Gloria.
Oh.
Or on NBC, The Magician. Bixby plays a magician who uses his magic tricks to aid a woman being trailed by a gunman.
I'm going to be watching The Magician.
Mm-hmm.
But God, he didn't use many tricks at all. There were no tricks. He used them as distractions for like sneaking around and breaking into things.
Yeah. But I mean, some of the that one trick he does where he holds out his hand, he puts the cloth on and he pulls it up and then there's a glass of wine.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
But how does that solve a crime?
No, but I mean, we saw it. It happened on television.
I mean, yeah, he did magic. The Magician did magic. We watched magic, but at the same time.
And it was all in one shot, too.
Yeah.
So I know that it happened in camera.
But at the same time, he wasn't busting down the door being like, my attack doves, get them. And the doves attack and then they vanish into a hat.
I don't think there is any way for that to be cool.
Then you didn't see the show Deception 2018 with Vinnie Jones, where they did all these things. Vinnie Jones was part of his crew. It was like the new flashy magicians. They were doing these big setups with mirrors and shit. It was great. It only lasted one season, but it was the number one show in France. What the hell?
Come on, France.
Come on, France. Bring it back.
Yeah, I'm watching The Magician, and I'm going to be like, ooh, Mr. Bixby.
Mr. Bixby.
Oh, Mr. Bixby.
I remember him from My Favorite Martian, but I wasn't a fan of Courtship of Eddie's Father. I don't know. Some people probably had those opinions.
Oh, yeah. On IMDb, 134 Magic Heads gave this a 7.5 out of 10. First of all, 134 users rating this episode of television. Is this a cult classic? Because that's actually a lot compared to some other shows.
I would say that this is probably a cult classic. It released they re-released it on Sci-Fi, obviously, because that's where Daily Motion captured it from.
It was, okay, I'll probably go lower than 7.5, but not much.
I'd go maybe like a 6.9. It's
I was gonna say 6,
very 70s.
But there's something just spoke to me about, like, I want to watch more, at least until the halfway when all the freaks get edited out of the show for some reason. Keep the freaks in the show.
I think I would like it better if it was an hour instead of an hour and a half.
Well, and it becomes an hour.
Right? Yeah, I think that's why I think it's like, okay, condense the story a little bit, keep people, having the same names, because virtually everybody had 2 names in this. What the hell?
October, yeah. Who had the must-see performance?
Oh, Keen Cooper as Max Pomeroy.
Yeah. King Curtis. Yeah. Max Pomeroy, definitely. Yeah. Also, fantastic ascot work. So kudos to the costume department. Very nice poof, but also tight. You have to. Those are both very key into good ascot look. Loved it.
Yeah, he had the must-see performance. You couldn't take your eyes off. Oh, he also gets invited. He gets himself invited to the party at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he can kind of do some reconnaissance there. So he remembers when that where he met the wife. He's like, "Oh, we met at the Academy Awards party.
Academy Award.
Yeah, you did. You did so much better with your current husband than who you were with." Or like, it wasn't something.
Yeah,
like that.
God, so good. Must other people see this episode of television?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, Barb.
You're a Bill Bixby completist. I think if you have a soft spot for just 70s nonsense, absolutely.
Yeah, that's who it appeals to. If you like, that's the thing, is like, if you're a fan of magic, you've seen these tricks done by clowns.
This is not a show for magic lovers. This is a show for people who want to see a helicopter, or no, a seaplane being chased by a boat.
Yeah, or a guy driving around like a very a very white sports car with a cell phone.
Or Bill Bixby using shaving cream to deter a high-speed chase.
Is that a magic trick? Does that count as a magic trick?
He's pulled that out. He was like, "Here's my magic trick."
Because it kind of seems like the show's going great, and then he'll do a magic trick, and it's kind of like a drum solo. Where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for this end to end. The next,
yeah.
I want the chorus to come back, and he'll be like, we just did some spy stuff, and now, here's a little bit of magic, and you're like, okay, get to the plot though.
Oh my God,
magic's not as great.
So good. Yeah. So yeah, if you like 70s garbage, absolutely.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun garbage. It makes no sense why a magician would be doing any of these things. Like there's no connection between like solving crime and being a magician. Nothing. It is completely contrived, and like probably for like 9/10 of the movie there is no magic.
Perfect.
Yep.
So next week we'll be jumping to the 80s
with Love Boat.
I'm trying to get to the episode.
I know it has Betty White, the voice of Ricardo Montalban, and the Village People.
Oh yeah. And it is titled, come on. It's titled
something. God. The show has a title.
Okay, show more. Okay, geez. It is titled, and the title is a doozy. It is season 4, episode 7. Honestly, season 4, episode 7. Do it that way, because otherwise the title is The Horse Lover / Secretary to the Stars / Julie's Decision / Gopher and Isaac Buy a Horse / Village People Ride Again.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And I will not be wearing an 80s. Unfortunately, I'm wearing my 80s look tonight, but whatever.
I will have to tell the story of the major faux pas that I made in front of the cowboy from the Village People when I first came to New York.
Oh, hell yeah.
So tune in.
Hope it wasn't a bathhouse.
No, I did something. Something stupid.
Although we went to the Russian baths.
Yeah, I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go a couple weeks ago, and then it was with a small group, and I didn't realize that it's not co-ed on Sunday mornings. So not the entire group couldn't get in until like 2 o'clock. So I'm like, I'm getting in at 10. So we ended up just having lunch, and I headed home.
Wah, wah.
Long story short, that was a stupid story.
No, where can people find you on the internet to compliment you on your bathhouse stories?
Well, please leave comments on Apple, on iTunes. Leave comments on YouTube. I absolutely love that we had comments, even though we did take God's name in vain, which we do.
We're working on it.
It happens.
Also, off topic. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But I'm on Instagram at EthanK55.
And
how about you, Bob?
Ooh, y'all can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Barb Hardly. Please go there. Please subscribe. Please like. Please follow. And please leave us iTunes reviews because we like getting that one, and multiple will definitely help. And thank you to Acast for hosting the podcast. Thanks, Ethan, for picking this amazing 70/90 minutes with commercials experience.
We went a little long today because it was an hour and a half, but I did hear that people are enjoying longer form content these days.
Oh, yes. Jeez, Louise. Oh, listen, on my road trip back from Tennessee, I listened to 4 2-hour episodes about Madonna's discography. So, like,
hey,
work.
Hey, listen to Apocrypals. They go as long as we do. My brother and me are usually over an hour, so
we have fun. Company. And as always, go to the YouTubes and watch, this version on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, because like you'll get to see my eleganza. And until next time, why do I always forget the sign off right before I say it? See you next time on Must Have Seen TV.